fight. Trying to see where the life take me, so I roll the dice. Look up to no one else, but yeah, I was shy. I got real power, Hebrew Israelite.
How do they make you though? Like, what would you, like if I made you cook me some food, how would I do that? Huh? Did slavery happen? So, what happened in slavery? They made you learn Christianity through what? Slavery, hard bondage, killing, like the KKK.
Right.
Didn't they burn crosses and burn down churches?
Right.
And what happened if you didn't submit to Christianity? They would do that to you, right? So how did our people learn Christianity? Was it nice? What if I told you our people that learned Islam, it was by the same mechanisms, the same system, slavery and killing. Did you know that? You knew that, right? So why do we serve a religion that did that to our people by force?
Right.
Now let me ask you, was our people always under Islam before that point? If they were forced into it? No. Our people actually had something greater than Islam.
Right.
Do you know what that is? Alright, so this man, I'm going to show you. This man wrote From Babylon and Timbuktu, A History of the Ancient Black Races, including the Black Hebrews, by Rudolph R. Windsor. He's an anthropologist, he had a PhD. He studied the dark races on the earth. This book goes into Islam and it goes into the history of black people. You believe in history?
I do believe in history.
You believe in history?
Yeah.
What about you, Kai? Alright, I'm going to show you some history about black people before we learn Islam. You ready? Go ahead and follow what our people are about. You understand? You following? Now listen to what this man said. Read this verse right here.
This is page 13, chapter 1, in the third paragraph.
Are you guys from Palestine?
I'm sorry?
Are you guys from Palestine?
No, we're not. I'm sorry.
You support Israel?
Huh?
You support this?
We also do not support them.
You don't support, so you're not.
Okay, and now read this. I'm going to show you.
Do you know silence is a
I shall prove conclusively that the black people,
So now he's going to prove conclusively about who are the black people. Us, right? They'll call us black people. So he's going to prove something about our people. Read on.
that the black people have the most ancient history. Have the most ancient history.
Our people actually have the most ancient history.
Right.
We have our history goes back farther than every other nation on the earth.
Right.
It's going to tell you what was the history of that nation. Read on.
The most ancient history of all humans.
Of all who?
Of all humans.
So look at all the humans on the earth.
Our people actually has the most ancient history. That's started at 1619. Read on.
The best available source of proof.
The best
Available source of proof. If you want to read about our ancient history, is the what?
Is the history of the Jews.
the what?
Is the history of the Jews.
It's the history of the Jews.
Right.
Not Arabs, Jews. Now, what did the Jews believe? Read on.
Known as the Bible.
known as the what?
Known as the Bible.
So, if you want to learn about our people, you have to go to the Bible. So before we believed in Islam and Christianity, we actually believed that we were the true Jews or the Hebrews. Does that make sense? Now, do you know where Muhammad got the idea of Islam? Where did he get the idea from? How did he come up with that concept? Do you know when it was invented? Because do you know the history of the Jews? That wasn't invented by anybody. That was given to them by God. But Islam was actually invented by a man. Go to Galatians chapter 1 and start at verse 11. Go to the page 48. I got you. But hey, take a flyer. That brother, you got flyers for you. Take a flyer. You got one? All right, look into that. Scan the QR code. Now for you, I'm going to teach you this. This is very important. Now read this. Read this part right here.
Page 48, the second paragraph.
Islam and Judaism, you know, because remember, the Jews lived around the Arabs in antiquity. And that was our people, right? You remember we just read page 13? Now, Muhammad is around that time as well, right? The concept of Islam came about in around 615 AD or so, 620 AD or so, 600 after the death of Christ, who was also a Jew. Now read this.
The prophet Muhammad adopted many principles. Adopted many principles
He adopted many principles, we don't?
and laws from the Jewish religion.
From the where?
From the Jewish religion.
How did he build Islam?
From the Jewish religion.
So Muhammad actually copied our people's custom and created a whole religion out of it.
Right.
If you wrote a paper in college and I took your paper and I turned it into the teacher, isn't that plagiarism?
Right.
Isn't that fraud?
Right.
Then I said I wrote this paper, but I really didn't write it. I stole it from you.
Right.
That's how that's how Muhammad got the concept of Islam. He stole that from our people. You understand that? That's a bad thing, isn't it? That's not a good thing, right? All right, let's keep reading. You know what? You know it gets worse than that too. Read this.
First of all, the basic idea of monotheism, which is the belief in one God.
You ever heard of Allah? You know how they serve Allah? Before they actually served Allah, the Arabs, they actually believed in 360 gods. They got the basic idea of one God from us. Because we serve one God. So guess what they started to do? They started to serve one God and call his name Allah. That doesn't sound like it's a true God. That sounds like it's made up, right? Exactly. It sounds made up, doesn't it? Right? Read on.
Jumping down to the third paragraph. Muhammad adopted also the main details. The main details.
You need to adopt something. It wasn't yours before, but now you took it and you called it yours, right? Right? That's adopted, right? So he adopted the main details, we know,
of the Jewish calendar.
The what?
Of the Jewish calendar. The Day of Atonement.
What?
The Day of
You
Atonement.
ever heard of Ramadan? Ramadan, where they fast for a month? Where Muslims will fast for a month. You ever heard of that? That's what Muslims do. They'll fast for a month, and they call it Ramadan. They got that actually from us, the Day of Atonement. So it seems like a lot of the ideas of Islam is coming from the Jews, right? Who are the Jews? Remember he said it was about black people in the history of the Jews? So who are the real Jews? Who is Muhammad getting this information from? Would he be getting it from us? Are we the Jews? Read verse 13 again. Read page 13 again. Well, follow me. I'm going to show you who black people actually are according to this man. Read this.
Right? It says, I shall prove conclusively that the black people have the most ancient history of all humans. The best available source of proof is the history of the Jews. Is the history of the Jews.
Black people, another word for black is Jews. We're the Jews. You understand that? So we wouldn't really be black people, we would be Jews. And to prove that, we have to go into the history of the Jews. So when Muhammad is taking all these ideas from Islam, he's stealing it from the Jews. Who is he really taking it from? Us, right? So he's taking it from us. So all of these ideas that Muhammad got, it came from us. Now, how did we learn Islam? Remember we told you about slavery, right? By the sword. Do you know that actually this man actually proves that? I'm gonna show you this. Read this. Go to the next page. Yeah, 50, right here. Start at this, right here.
Now listen to this. This is how we learn Islam.
Page 50, paragraph 2.
Psalms 97.
So it was with Muhammad.
So it was with what?
So it was with Muhammad.
Right?
He had come to a point of no return.
Because remember, he kept trying to convince our people, the Jews, to believe in Islam, but we didn't want to because we knew it was made up, right? We knew it wasn't real. You understand? So we knew it wasn't real, right? It was made up. They stole it from us, right? So he actually lost patience. What happens when you lose patience? You ever lost patience before? Somebody kept irritating you, and you say, you know what? Leave me alone. That's what Muhammad did. He lost patience, you know?
And became a religious extremist in order to give his people a better life.
Who is Muhammad's people? The Arabs, right? Because remember, he's not a Jew, he's an Arab. Yeah, so that's why it doesn't belong to you. It's making you mad, isn't it? It's making you mad. Read on.
Yeah, I know. You know?
Muhammad came to the conclusion that all means of persuasion have been exhausted.
I mean, he tried every way to convince our people to believe in Islam, but we didn't want to. So this is his last resort. Read on.
The period of patience was past, and he was now determined to propagate his religion by the sword.
By the what?
By the sword.
Are you forced some people to believe in Islam?
By the sword.
By the sword. So basically, if I come to your house and I say, you know what, you either believe in Islam or you die. That doesn't sound something like something you want to convert to, right? That's what Muhammad did to a lot of the so-called black people or the Jews. God said we can't believe in that, and guess what? We listened to God, and He killed us for it. Why would you want to be a part of something that your foremothers and forefathers died for? Does that make sense? You don't want to be a part of that, right? Do you know there's something better you can be a part of? A lot better? The same people that believe that they were the Jews, brother, you are a Jew.
Right.
Do you know you have an inheritance from God? Our inheritance wasn't stolen from anybody else. You know that, right? I'm going to show you. Go to Galatians 1 and 11.
Book of Galatians chapter 1 and verse number 11. But I certify you, brethren, that the gospel which was preached of me
So this gospel that I'm about to give you is what?
is not after man.
It's not after what?
It's not after man.
No, somebody created this.
It's not after man.
The reason why this is much better because nobody created this. It was given to us by God. Wouldn't you want something that was given to you by God himself?
Right.
Wouldn't that be more important than you receiving something from a man?
Right.
I would rather receive something from God, right? Right, it makes sense. So let's see what God gave the Jews. You want to see what God gave the Jews? You ready? Hey, I'm going to show you. And guess what? It's going to be better than what you call yourself now. Go to the book of Sirach, chapter 24, and verse number 23. This is important knowledge. What's your name again? Yusuf. Yusuf, this is important knowledge. Read this.
Book of Sirach, chapter 24 and verse 23. All these things are the book of the covenant of the Most High God.
Of the what?
Of the Most High God. Even the law.
Even the who?
Even the law, which Moses commanded for inheritance unto the congregation of Jacob.
Guess what? Our heritage is that we have the most divine and perfect laws ever given to man. Now you hear about American laws, right? You hear American laws. You can't jaywalk in certain states, right? You know, if you have get caught with a gun, if you have permits, those are laws, right? That's the law, right? You know, in your parents' house, you still live with your parents. You know, your parents, they said they have laws in the house. You got to wash your dishes by a certain time. God gave us laws that are better than all of that. You understand? And God, his laws are perfect, and that was for us to keep as the Jews. You understand? This is the best heritage. And he called us the Israelites. The Jews are called the Israelites, Yusuf. So you wouldn't be Muslim. You would be an Israelite stemming from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Abraham was actually called the friend of God. Do you know that? You come from that man. Doesn't that sound better? You come from those people instead of saying I come from Muhammad, who stole our religion, that wasn't even for us, and then he enslaved you for it. Yeah. And you know he was a pedophile. You know what a pedophile is? A pedophile is those that touch women that's underage. You know Muhammad did that? That's bad. Why would you want to follow that man? But guess what? You know who Jesus Christ is? You know he walked on water? You know you come from him, brother? You come from a man that walked on water. Do you understand how powerful that is? He walked on water, brother. This man, hey, do you know this man is the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords? His blood, and guess what, runs through your veins. That's why this is better, because this heritage was given to us from God. Go to Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 8. Read what you got.
Psalms chapter 97:7.
Psalms 97 and 7. Confounded be all they that serve graven images. That boast themselves of idols.
Because Allah's an idol. He's not real. I can make you an idol. Don't people make LeBron James an idol? They say I love LeBron James. What's the difference between LeBron James and Muhammad? They're both men, right? We have to idolize the God that created heaven and earth, who actually said we're the best people, so he actually gave us a culture. You following me? This is some good information. You never heard this before, have you? No. And it makes you mad, doesn't it?
It makes me like hell.
It makes you mad. It makes you mad like hell, man. Every brother's mad. Everybody's mad because we didn't have this information. Now we gotta teach this so you can walk a better life, man. So you can serve the real God. Hold that. Read what you got.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32 and verse 8. When the Most High divided the nation.
So remember, God created all the 18 nations that you see on earth. You know, you got these Indians, you got, Arabs, the sons of Ishmael. They all have biblical names, right? We will be called black people, but in the Bible, we're the sons of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the Israelites. You have white people, the Edomites. You have Japanese, and the Ammonites, Moabites, Chinese. So all the nations were given their own inheritance with their own God. Our inheritance is the true God.
When the Most High divided the nations, their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam.
He separated the sons of Adam. Remember, everybody comes from Adam, right? Everybody comes from Adam and Eve. You ever heard of that? Adam and Eve? Yeah, Adam and Eve in Genesis. Remember, Eve ate the apple, the serpent. If you don't know, that's okay. But he separated the sons of Adam,
He separated the sons of Adam. He set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. therefore, the Lord's portion is his people.
God said, you know what? Have you ever had the box of pizza? You said, you know what? I like that slice the best. Right? You ever created some drawings in school? You said, you know what? That's drawing I'm gonna take home to my brother. You ever did that before? You ever gave your mom something? You said, this is the best thing. Yeah, and everything else, he's like, I don't like that. I don't like this one, right? That's what God did with us. Out of all the nations, that's what he chose. Look at the top. That's what he chose. What does that word say?
Table of nations.
And what is that under that number one? Israel.
Yeah, Israel.
That's number one, right?
Yeah.
That's the nation he chose. Now look on this sign. If you're an Israelite, do you see yourself? You say you're American black, right? So aren't you part of the people that God chose? Just look, Israelites, and then the 12 tribes, God chose these people on this sign. So do you find yourself on the sign? Are you American black? Yeah, you will come from the tribe of Judah. You will be an Israelite, part of the people God chose. You understand, right? Okay, you understand. So according to the Bible, we're the Israelites, right? Yes. Of course, brother. You smart, brother. You're a very smart brother. Now read on.
For the Lord's portion is his people.
So God, we belong to God and God belongs to us. Now, do you know who God is? Not Allah, the true living God. Do you know who he is? You want me to show you? I'm going to introduce you to him. You ready? Go ahead, read that. In Deuteronomy, go to Isaiah chapter 40, verse 28. Read what you got.
Deuteronomy 10 and 14. Behold, the heaven and the heaven of heavens.
The heavens in the heavens of heavens, the atmosphere, the stratosphere. All right, read on.
Is the Lord's thy God.
Is the what?
Is the Lord's thy God.
You know who that sky belongs to? Who does that sky belong to?
Sky belongs to.
It belongs to who? We just read it. Can we read it again? I'm going to read it again for you.
Behold, the heaven and the heaven of heavens.
God, right? Read on.
Is the Lord.
Is the who?
Is the Lord.
Who does the sky belong to?
It belongs to who?
God.
It belongs to God, brother.
Right.
It doesn't belong to science. It doesn't belong to Allah. It doesn't belong to any of the other nations. It belongs to God, brother. Read on.
And the what?
The earth also.
The what?
The earth also.
Are we standing on earth? Are we standing on cement? Are we looking at trees? Are we looking at humans? Who does that belong to? Belongs to God. It belongs to the Lord, right? And the earth, right? Read on.
With all therein is.
With what?
With all that therein is.
When you look at the earth, you look at the ocean, you feel the wind, right?
Yeah.
Who does that belong to?
Nature.
No, it says the Lord, right?
Yeah.
And so the heavens belong to the Lord and earth, right?
Yeah.
And everything in the earth, right?
Right.
That belongs to who?
Belongs to the Lord.
It belongs to who?
Lord.
The Lord, brother.
So all these things belong, this is your God that chose you. That's a very special feeling, right? Yeah, you following me, right? And you get excited, ain't you? Yeah, I know you get excited. Read on.
And it reads, only the Lord.
Only the who?
Only the Lord had a delight
Only the Lord had a delight, meaning only the Lord had pleasure. Read on.
in thy fathers.
In what?
In thy fathers.
Doesn't everybody have a so-called father? But God said the fathers of these people on this sign, the Lord only had pleasure in them. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob, our forefather's name was changed to Israel. He had 12 sons, and here are the 12 tribes today. You got Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Ephraim, Manasseh. The blacks and Hispanics, we're actually all one people. We're actually the same. Right? So if you come from Judah, or American black, you come from the tribe of Judah, the Lord only had a delight in your forefathers, brother. That makes you feel some type of way, right? Yeah, it does make you feel some type of way, brother. Because what's our nationality? We're the who?
With the what?
Israelite.
Israelites, brother. That's right, brother. We gotta kind of, you know what I'm saying? If you have any questions, let me know. We're gonna go slow for you, Yusuf, so you can understand this. This is very important, right? It's very important. Read on.
It says, only the Lord had a delight in thy fathers to love them.
To what?
To love
You
them.
ever heard that God loves everybody? Yeah, you ever heard that God loves everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know God in the Bible only loves our forefathers and our people.
Right.
You never heard that before, right? Usually they call us what? Niggas, black, right? Thug. You ever heard thug? Right? All of these African American. But God said, you are the Israelites and only love your forefathers, man. They're not gonna teach you this in school, Yusuf. This is some class A information, some classified information, Yusuf. And this is all found in the what? The Bible. So I suggest, I know you never heard of it, but I suggest you get a Bible and you start following along so you can actually learn more history in your true history, greater than what Islam ever going to teach you. Now I'm going to show you, read this. Look, this is another characteristic of God. Read this.
Isaiah chapter 40 verse 28. Hast thou not known? Hast thou not known?
You may have never known, right? You haven't known from today. So God said, have you not known, Leon?
Hast thou not heard?
You never heard of this, right?
That the everlasting God.
That's the what?
That the everlasting God.
God has no beginning or end. He's the everlasting God. God doesn't have a beginning. God wasn't born. He doesn't have an age. He's the everlasting God. Think about how powerful this God is. You know?
The everlasting God. Yahweh.
What's his name?
Yahweh.
God's name? Yahweh.
You know God has a name? Because God is just a title. That's like saying student, teacher. If you go to school, people are just going to call you student all day. Yeah, you may be a student, and is that your name? Or is your name Yusuf?
Right.
So God, yeah, he's a God, but what is God's name? Yahweh.
Right.
Yahweh in Hebrew. Because we are Hebrews, brother. We're not Arabs, so we don't believe in Islam. We're Hebrews. The Jews, remember we read that book? You have to go to the Bible because we're Hebrews. So God, his name is Yahweh, which means he is or exists, because remember, he's everlasting. He doesn't have a beginning or end. That sounds powerful, right?
Right.
That's
What?
That was powerful. That was powerful, because that's his name is Yahweh, you know?
Yahweh. The creator.
The what?
The creator of the ends of the earth.
Of the what?
Of the ends of the earth.
God created everything all the way from Japan all the way to California. Everything belongs to him, Yusuf.
Right.
And you belong to him too.
Right.
You know?
Fainted not, neither is weary.
God doesn't get tired. He's up 24/7. While you sleeping, God working. While you up at work, he's working. While you taking a nap, he's working. That's your God, and guess what he's working to do? He's working to protect you in his everyday life because these people don't like you, Yusuf. You got enemies. So God is always working to make sure you and your family is protected at all times. This is your God, brother. And what's his name?
Yahweh.
Yo, what?
Yahweh.
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 Yahweh, that's your God, brother. So this is a new identity, Yusuf. Doesn't it feel a lot better?
Yeah, it's man.
Hey, that's great, man. Better, man. Really?
There is no searching of his understanding.
Can't search God's understanding because it's so infinite. We're man. We have questions. Do you think God has questions? Do you think God is up there? What am I gonna do today? What should I do today? You think God does that? No, he doesn't do that, brother. Because he's everlasting. You know?
Understanding, he giveth power.
He does what?
He giveth power
God is so powerful that he gives you power, brother. You know?
to the faint and to them that have no might. He increases strength.
God increases strength. That's who God is. If you want to learn a little bit more about who God is, this is some good information, isn't it? Go to Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 17. You never heard this before, have you? Have you ever heard this before? Anywhere? Has anybody told you this? No, nobody ever told you this. So you know what, Yusuf? We had to come out here on Saturday, bring all the boards out here, and guess what? We had to come and teach you this, brother. That's why we out here. Isn't that called love?
That's love.
Brother, because we do this for our brothers, Yusuf. You know?
Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 17. For Yahweh your God.
What the Lord say?
For Yahweh your God.
Not everybody's God. Your God, brother. These people's God on his son. You know?
Your God is God of gods.
What?
Is God of gods.
We talked about Allah earlier, right? Do you know God is the God of Allah?
Right.
This is crazy, right? Yes, God is the God of Allah. God is the God of Zeus.
Right.
Poseidon.
Right.
Ares.
Right.
Aphrodite.
Right.
All of these Greek gods, the Roman gods, Saturn,
Right.
Jupiter,
Right.
Pluto.
Right.
These gods, God is the God of gods. Krishna, Vishnu, all of these gods, God, Yahweh is the God of gods, the God of the Hebrews. You ever heard it? You ever heard of Moses? Yeah, he freed the people from Egypt, to slavery, the Israelites. Okay, it's okay. We will get there in due time. But he's the God of gods, you know?
And Lord of lords.
And what?
And Lord of lords.
He's the Lord of Lords. That's the title for God, isn't it? Yahweh, you know?
A great God.
Hey, what?
A great God.
Average.
A great God. A mighty.
Hey, what?
A mighty.
Great and mighty God. You know?
And a terrible.
You know what?
ask you a question. You ever heard about people dying? You ever heard about somebody getting hit by a car? What about somebody dying by a bullet? By a bullet? By a gun? You ever heard somebody get killed before? By a gun? Yup. You ever heard of somebody getting raped? Yeah. Guess what? Do you know God does those things too? He's a terrible God. Why does God have those things happen to certain people? Majority of our people. Why does God do that?
Well, God's just making people became evil.
People became evil, and what did God have to do to them? He had to punish them, right? So isn't that called punishments? And if we're his chosen people, if we're his sons and daughters, isn't he gonna punish us the worst? Like if you got in trouble at school and your mom and your pops find out, aren't you gonna get punished worse than your classmates? Because they taught you their laws, right? Remember, our heritage is the laws. And he taught us his laws, right? So isn't God gonna punish us the worst? Isn't that crazy? That's crazy, right? So God, he's called terrible because you can't play with him. You can't just joke around with God. He's your heavenly father. He's your God. You understand that? Read on.
Terrible, which regarded no, not person.
God doesn't regard persons, meaning God doesn't respect who. He doesn't care if you have $1,000. He doesn't care if you have $2 billion. If you did wrong, you did wrong. Isn't that right? Right? Because you know in America, you can just pay the judge and you get off, right? Right? That's unjust, right? That's not fair. You bribing people, right? If you know I did something wrong and I gave you $20 to not say anything, is that right? That doesn't sound right to me. You wouldn't want to be that person's friend, right, Yusuf? Yeah, you wouldn't want to be that person's friend.
No.
God is not like that. God, he doesn't regard who you are. If you're not doing what he says, he's going to judge you. Read on.
Which regarded not persons, nor taketh reward.
He doesn't take bribes either. This is your God. He's a just God. And guess what? This is who your God is. Now Yusuf, if we're the Israelites, why are we at the bottom of society if God is only for us? What happened? What happened? We're God's favorite people. Why are we at the bottom of society? What happened? We gotta know this. Why do we now serve Islam and Muhammad and Allah instead of the God of the Bible? What happened? Slavery, right? Why did we go into slavery? If God is the God for our people, why did we go into slavery? Because you remember I said earlier, he punished us. What did he punish us for? Because he gave us laws. The punishments only happen if you don't keep the laws, right? Like you wouldn't get punished in your house, right? You would get punished in your house if you didn't do what your mother or father said, right? Right. So why did we go into slavery or get punishments? Did we do what God said? Yeah, we didn't, right? We didn't keep the what? The laws, right? We didn't keep the laws, right? That's why we went into slavery. You follow me, Yusuf? Okay, go to Luke 1:17. Go to Luke 1:17. Because God's people, we made a contract with God, and guess what? We broke that contract. So now God has given us curses as a people that we have to live throughout until we all come back to his laws. That's why I gotta teach you, Yusuf. That's why I gotta teach you. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Now let me show you Luke 1:17.
Look at Baruch, chapter 4, 1 to verse 17. For we have sinned before the Lord.
We did what?
For we have sinned before the Lord.
A sin is breaking God's commandments. So if you break God's commandments, that's classified as a sin. Does that make sense? So we sinned before God, meaning we broke God's laws before his face. You know?
And disobeyed him.
And did what?
And disobeyed
What does it
him.
mean to disobey God? Not do what he says, right?
Yeah.
So what does it mean to disobey?
Disobey the God, like I'll say like disobey.
Disobey means to not follow correction or not follow rules. So we didn't follow God's rules. So whatever he told us to do, we didn't do it. Right? So we disobeyed him. Read on.
And disobeyed him, and have not hearkened unto the voice of the Lord our God.
We didn't listen to God. What did God tell us to do? To keep the what? To keep the law, right?
To keep the law.
To what?
to keep the law.
So that's what he told us, right?
Yeah.
And we disobeyed him, right?
Yeah.
What did God now do to us since we disobeyed him? What did he give us?
Give us disobey.
Give us punishments, right? He gave us punishments, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to see some of the punishments God gave us? And it's going to show you why we're called the Israelites today. Happens. Hey, what if I say something's going to happen 2 months from now and it happens? Wouldn't that be kind of scary? No, what if I say that something's going to happen 2 months from now? Let's say I say 2 months, you're going to go to the store and grab a Powerade, and you actually do it. On that specific day I said you're going to do it. Isn't that kind of crazy? That's called prophecy. God said thousands of years later, this will happen to his people, and guess what? It actually happened. Isn't that scary? That's kind of crazy. So we're going to read about certain things that God said will happen. Read on.
If thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day.
Laws, statutes, and commandments when he commanded us this day, a long time ago. You know?
That all these curses,
That all these what?
that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Curses are going to overtake and come upon God's people. Give me verse 54. You ever heard of generational curses? Is a curse a good or bad thing? If I curse you and your children, is that good? That's bad, right? So God said, I'm gonna curse you for breaking my commandments or my laws. I'm gonna show you some curses. I'm gonna ask you, does this happen to black people today? Read verse 48.
Verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother.
When you see black people, are you from America? Are you from Illinois? You from Chicago?
Well, I'm from Chicago, South Side.
South Side, right?
Yeah.
How do our people live on the South Side? Do they live good?
No.
Are they always killing each other?
Always.
God said a man that looks just like me and you is going to have an evil eye towards his brother, meaning guess what? Gang violence is going to happen in the future. That's in the Bible, Yusuf. Don't these people gang bang against each other and kill each other?
Right.
Doesn't that happen? Did God say that was going to happen?
Right.
Yeah. Heard God said that would happen to our people for doing what? For breaking his commandments, right? Now it gets deeper than that, you know?
So like his eye shall be evil toward his brother,
Right.
and toward the wife of his bosom,
Right.
and toward the remnant of his children,
Right.
which he shall lead.
What the Lord say?
Which he shall lead.
You know some of your friends, right? That's one of the signs black Hispanics can get married because they grew up without their father. Didn't God say that was going to happen in the Bible? That's what happened, right? That happens all the time, right? It only happens because God said that will happen for breaking his commandments, right? That's how you know this Bible is true. You see that? So we're telling you that this Bible is true based off what God said and it actually happened, right? And remember, this God only belongs to who? The Israelites, right? And who are the Israelites?
Israelites. Who are the Israelites? Are we the Israelites?
Yes. We're the Israelites, right? Because these things happen to us, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Follow me, Yusuf?
Sounds like
Okay, cool. Now, those are some curses that show that we're the Israelites. Because you know we're the Israelites, right? How do we gain power back with God? What do? If we broke his commandments and disobeyed him, how do we gain power back with God? What do we have to do?
obey.
Obey, right? You have to obey God. Obey what? What did he say for us to do?
Disobey.
No, what did he say for us to do?
Oh, just keep these laws.
Keep his laws, right?
Yeah.
We have to keep God's laws, right?
Yeah.
Right, so I'm going to show you some laws from this day forward as an Israelite, Yusuf, that you have to keep, okay? And this is how you're going to serve God, right? Because you have to serve God by doing what? By obeying him, right? So we're going to show you some ways to obey God. You ready? Okay, go to Deuteronomy chapter 14 and verse 8. Now you said you was ready, Yusuf. From this day forward after that, you have to obey God. You hear me? Not Allah, not Islam, but the God of the Hebrews. You understand?
Right.
Okay, all right. Now you follow me. Now read this.
Deuteronomy 14 and 8.
Yeah.
And the swine.
What is swine? Swine.
No, I never heard of
Swine is an animal. It's a pig. You ever heard of a pig? Do Do you know there are some people that eat pig? It's pork, right?
Yeah.
Is pork good for you?
Nope.
It's not what?
No.
It's no.
No.
Pork is not good for you, brother. Do you know God said pork wasn't good for us? That's in the Bible, Yusuf. Read on.
And the swine, because it divideth the hoof, yet to have not the cud, it is unclean unto you.
Something's unclean. Do you want to touch it? It's unclean. No, you don't want to touch something unclean. Would you eat it?
No.
So you don't eat pork, right?
No.
That's good, Yusuf. We don't eat pork around here, right?
No.
Because we're the what? We're the who? Say this word.
Private,
We're the Israelites, right? We're the Israelites, Yusuf.
Hey!
Always remember that word, Israelites. That's who we are. We're not black. We're not African American. We're not thugs. We're not niggas. We're not, We're not Muslim. We are the Israelites, right? Yeah, it's making sense, Yusuf.
Yeah.
All praises. So we can't eat pork, right? All right, we can't eat pork, right?
No.
All right, do you know there are certain things that come out the waters that the Israelites can't eat either? Did you know that? Do you think we can eat all type of fish? No, we can't eat all type of fish. Let me show you what type of fish we can't eat. Read this.
It is verse 9. These ye shall eat of all that are in the waters.
No, because we don't want to make God mad, right? So we have to listen to this. You know?
All that have fins and scales shall ye eat.
The only things that can come out the waters that we can eat has to have fins and scales. Like, you ever heard of salmon? Yeah, the fish. Hey, salmon is good. Look up salmon, it's good. You ever heard of red snapper? That's a fish. You get that more so in the Caribbean. It's good, right? You ever heard of tuna? Yeah, that has fins and scales. You see that man right there? He absolutely loves tuna. That guy loves tuna, right? But that's a commandment. We can only eat fish that has fins and scales. So next time you go to a seafood restaurant, make sure the fish has what? Fins and what? And scales, right? These are images. Do these things have fins and scales? No, they don't. And what is that? A crab. Yeah. That's what? A lobster, right? And that's shrimp, right? Do you eat those things?
Nope.
Nope, right? We don't eat those things, right, Yusuf? Yeah, because those don't have fins and scales, right?
Right.
So we can't eat those. You follow me, Yusuf? Okay, all praises. Now, hey, we have to show you a little bit more now. Okay, Yusuf, you ready? Leviticus 19 to 27.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 19 and verse 27.
Interesting, right, Yusuf?
Yes, sir.
It's very interesting. Read this.
Ye shall not round the corners of your head.
I said you can't cut your hair bald. You ever see Michael Jordan? You can't do that. You have to have hair on your head.
Right.
You know what?
Neither shalt thou mar the corners of thy beard.
You can't shave off your beard either. You shave, you should. You can't shave according to God. Why? Because you're a grown. How old are you? How old are you, Yusuf? You're 24, Yusuf. I'm 24. Are we grown men? Hey, I'm trying to grow a beard, Yusuf. You can grow a beard. You got one. You can look like a grown man, Yusuf. So grow your beard out, Yusuf. You ever seen James Harden? That's a mighty beard, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yes, sir. But, yeah, hey, we gotta grow that out, Yusuf. We gotta grow that beard out. That's a commandment by God. You never heard that, right? Have you ever heard that before? Have you ever heard of that before? Have you ever heard this law? You heard of it before, right? Hey, because you're hearing it now. So we gotta grow our beards out, right, Yusuf? All praises. Now, read on.
Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead.
You cut yourself. When you get angry, you start cutting yourself. You know some people do that? Isn't that stupid? It's what? It's stupid. It's stupid. You can't do that. Start harming yourself. You can't harm yourself. You gotta go to God, Yusuf. You can't harm your body. Now, there's another law. Read on.
Right? Nor print any marks upon you.
Have you ever seen people have tattoos? I don't have a tattoo, but guess what? When I learned this information, did I ever get another tattoo? I didn't, Yusuf. Do you have tattoos? Are you ever gonna get one? No, that thing still say no. I can't, because God said I can't. You understand? So are you gonna ever get a tattoo? No. Why? What did God say? We can't, right? So why can't we get tattoos?
Enjoy yourself.
Because God said what?
You can't, right? God said you can't.
God says you can't. Yusuf.
Right.
So we can't get tattoos. Now, those are some laws. Now, do you know there are laws about how these people are supposed to dress, the Israelites? Do you know that we have a dress code that you're supposed to be wearing something right now? Look at everybody's shirts. What do they have in common? Look very closely. What does everybody have in common on their shirts? The Israelites, but what do we have in common on our shirts? What is this? You know? I'll show you, and this is what you're supposed to wear. And it's very important, Yusuf. Right? Don't forget now. Go to the book of Numbers 15.
The book of Numbers, chapter 15, and verse 38. Speak unto the children of Israel.
Hold on, Yusuf. God said Moses has to speak to the children of Israel. Who are the children of Israel? Who are the Jews or the Israelites? Remember, we went over this earlier. Who are they? Wouldn't it be us? Wouldn't we be the Israelites? Wouldn't we be the children of Israel? Right? So who is God telling them to speak to? He's talking to us, right? So read that again.
Speak unto the children of Israel.
So who is this message directed to? It's directed to us, right? So now God's going to give us certain commandments about us. Read on.
And bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of the garment.
God said we have to have these at the end of all of our shirts. Right now, you're supposed to have this at the end of your shirt. You understand? Read on.
Throughout the generations.
How long?
Throughout the generations.
Yusuf, when you get kids, they have to have this on as well on their garments. Because remember, it's a heritage, right? It's a culture, right? So in your culture, doesn't your kids have to know your culture? So you have to teach them your culture, right? And this is part of our culture, right? Exactly. You know what?
And that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue.
You have to have a ribbon of blue. Look at this. Doesn't this look like a nice color? It's very nice, right? Do you know blue's a royal color only for kings? That's crazy. Is everybody a king? Is everybody a king? No, you don't think so, right? Hey, we kings, brother. You gotta move like a king now.
Right.
You can't just do what everybody does.
Right.
You can't just wear what everybody wears.
Right.
Right. Think about. Have you ever heard of McDonald's? Do you know who the CEO of McDonald's is? That's the person that owns McDonald's. Does he make a lot of money? Yeah. Does he act like somebody that actually works at McDonald's? Does he wear the same thing? No, he doesn't wear the same thing, right? Because he's the CEO. Yeah, it's different, right? Different positions. We're a different position in the earth. We're the CEOs of the earth. You understand? So we have to wear this as kings on the earth. You understand? Right? Okay. Because we're the what is our nationality? Israel. Israelites, right? You gotta make it ingrained into your head. So we have to have fringes. You know?
It shall be unto you for a fringe, and ye may look upon it.
Right.
And remember.
And what?
And remember.
So you have to look at these fringes and always remember you're an Israelite. You're not a Muslim. It's very important because we don't want to upset God, right?
Right.
And we don't want to upset God. God gets upset when you call yourself a Muslim. God gets upset when you believe in Muhammad. You have to believe in God and have these fringes on to remember that you're what? Israelite.
Israelite.
Exactly, Yusuf. If you got any questions, remember, let me know. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you have to have these fringes on. Read on.
And remember all the commandments of the Lord.
Right.
And do them. And do them.
Yusuf, you have to have these because it's going to help you remember all of God's commands. You understand that, Yusuf? Yes, sir. So now, Yusuf, I don't want to give you too much now because I don't want to confuse you, Yusuf. You understand? So we have to keep the commandments, right? So we can't eat shrimp, pork, crab, and lobster, right? We can't eat those things, right? We can only eat fish with fins and what? And scales. And scales, right? You can eat meat, you just can't eat what? Pork, exactly, Yusuf. And you have to have a what on your face? You have to have a what on your face?
A beard.
A what? Beard. A beard, brother.
Right.
Right? And you have to have this. What is this called? It's the F. It starts with an F. What is this called?
I'm gonna give you something very great. You know what this is. Bro, what you doing, bro?
Fringes. Fringes, brother. You got it. All right. Now I'm gonna give you a flyer. Don't lose this. This is very important. You may never see this ever again. You have to. Oh, you got two. Oh, you already got one. Hey, we're gonna get you a starter pack too. Your brothers hand me that folder right there. This is gonna have the commandments on there, Yusuf, and what you can and can't do. It's gonna help you out a little bit, okay? And then I want you to go buy a Bible. I want you to buy something like this. Holy Bible. And all the information that we just read is going to be in this book, okay? And then when you go to our YouTube, take your camera, scan this, and it's going to have all of our videos. And I want you to follow along, Yusuf, okay? Yeah, and then if you have any questions, come back out here Friday at 6, Saturday at 3. We're going to be right here at the same exact spot. Matter of fact, somebody's going to write it down. Brother got a pen? He's going to write it down when we're out here. I want you to come back, Yusuf, after you've been studying, okay? Because you're going to have some questions, and we're going to be here to answer your questions, you understand? Right? Friday at 6, Saturday at 3, the same exact spot, Yusuf. We're not going anywhere. Lord willing. Alright? Matter of fact, not next Friday. Come back 3 Fridays from now. 3 Fridays from now. Because we're going to be out of town. But you can actually come back next Saturday. But anytime we out here is going to be Friday at 6, Saturday at 3. Alright? And I want you to watch these videos. Soak all the information in. I want you to delete Islam and delete being a Muslim and add these scriptures, because remember, you probably never heard this before, right? This is some great information. So you have to get into this information, you gotta get into this book. And it may be rough at first to follow along, but it's gonna become easier. Take this, cherish it, put it in your pocket, deep in your pocket. You understand?
Friday at 6 p.m. Saturday at 3 p.m.
Right. And what is God's name? Yahweh. Guess what? God, you know Jesus Christ, you ever heard of him? His real name is Yahweh Shah. Yeah, Yahweh Shah. Isn't Jesus going to come save his people? He's going to come save us, right? Because we're oppressed, right? So Yahweh Shah means he shall save. Remember, it's Hebrew because we are the Hebrews, right? Yahweh is the Father, Yahweh Shah is the Son. You understand that? All praise to the Most High. You got any questions? Okay, then you say, all right, you can stay up here if you want to, but if you have any questions, let me know. All right, Khan, all praise to Yahweh Shah. Give it up for Yusuf, man. Israelite, right?
Yes, sir.
No, don't do this. You're not doing that, okay? Just say I'm an Israelite. Yeah, this okay. It's okay. We used to do it too, Yusuf. Yeah, do this. Let's do this. I'm an Israelite. Say I'm an Israelite.
Israelite.
Building a nation, man. And that's what we gotta do, man. You gotta have long suffering, long forbearance because you're a king, right?
Right.
Yeah, and Yusuf, are we Muslims still?
Yeah, brother.
Are we Muslims?
Yeah, brother.
No, sir. We're not. Look at his face. We're not Muslims, man.
Yeah, brother.
And guess what? The reason why is because we are God's people, the Israelites, brother. We got to come back to our God. Now, let me ask you a question. How do you feel about what's going on in the world right now? You know what's going on in the world?
Everything's bad in this world.
Huh?
That's right.
Everything's bad.
And everything's bad, right?
Bad.
You hear of wars. You hear of diseases. You hear of, people doing crazy things. Secrets thing is bad. Do you know, God said those things will happen because the Israelites are going to be saved from America. So God said these things have to happen. So Yusuf, we don't have all day to keep these commandments. For you to be saved, you got to keep these commandments now. Do you want to be saved, Yusuf?
I do want to be saved.
You want to be saved from all the evil in this world?
I want to be saved evil around here.
Do you want to be saved from the evil in the world? Do you want to go somewhere better?
I just want to go somewhere.
You want to go back to your homeland, right?
Right.
Yeah, you want to go back to your homeland.
Yeah,
Only with your people, right?
Yes.
You got to keep the commandments and the laws we went over earlier because Christ is going to save us, but the only way he saves us is by keeping his commandments.
Right.
Go to Sirach 13 and 14. Go to the book of Matthew chapter 19 and verse 16. You see how we're going by only Bible verses? Because we got to prove these things, Yusuf.
Right.
Everything's by the word of God. Your God. Read this.
Book of Matthew chapter 19, verse 16. And behold, one came and said unto him, Good master, what good thing shall I do that I may have eternal life?
Have you ever paid taxes?
Nope.
You ever pay taxes?
No.
When you buy something, don't they tax you? Isn't it like extra $2? Like, let's say you go to the store and they give you, you gotta buy a honey bun, and next you know the honey bun was $3, but now it's $3.58. Why is it $3.58 if they say it was $3? It's called taxes. Aren't you tired of paying extra money to this government that's going to use it for something else? We don't like that, right, Yusuf? We don't like that. So he said, you know what? I'm tired of the tax. Aren't you tired of seeing your people die in the streets? Aren't you tired of that? You're tired of that. Hey, but guess what? We all tired of that, Yusuf.
Right.
We gotta do something. This guy was tired of it. He asked Jesus Christ, how do I get saved from this?
Right.
Listen closely, you know?
And he said unto him, why callest thou me good? There is no good but one, that is God. But if thou wilt enter into life,
Don't you want to enter into everlasting life?
Do you?
Do you? Don't you want to be around your brothers forever in righteousness? No more killing each other? Don't we have the power? We want to have the power in the earth again, right, Yusuf? So guess what? This is the only way you're going to get there, you know?
keep the commandments.
Keep the commandments. You gotta keep the commandments, Yusuf. So that's what we have to do. But keeping the commandments, we also have to have faith and call upon God in our salvation. You understand? You can't call upon Allah. You got to call upon Yahweh, your God. That's also another requirement. Read this.
We can say right. Chapter 13 and verse number 14.
You know?
Love the Lord.
What the Lord say?
Love the Lord.
Love Allah.
Love the Lord.
Love the Lord, right?
Yeah, right.
How do you love the Lord? By doing what he says, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. You know what?
Love the Lord all thy life.
Right? All thy life, right? Aren't you living right now?
Yes.
What about tomorrow? Do you still have to love the Lord?
Yes.
What about the day after that? You have to still love the Lord, right?
Yes.
What about 10 years from now? Don't you still have to love the Lord?
Yes,
What about
sir.
20 years?
Yes.
All the time. You know what?
And call upon him.
And do what?
And call upon
To
him
call upon God, your Lord, you know what?
for thy salvation.
For thy what?
For thy salvation.
So only whenever you're going through anything in life, Yusuf, call upon God for your salvation.
Right.
Don't run to alcohol. Don't run to weed. Don't run to anybody else but the Lord. You understand?
Right.
Exactly. So just making sure you understand. All right, Yusuf? Because we're the Israelites, right? Yes, sir. And we got to keep the commandments, right? Yes. All praises. Because like Yusuf said, everything's going bad in this world. But there's a reason for that. We see the prophecies come to pass. We see all hell breaking loose, man. Give it up for Yahweh Shem Shah. I mean, America has no chance. Go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 18, verse 7. America has zero chance, Yusuf. Do you know God is coming back to destroy America for the things they have done against our people? Yeah, it's going to happen, Yusuf. And the only people that's going to be saved are the people on this sign that call upon God for salvation and keep God's commandments. The Israelites, which you are. And you're going to keep God's commandments and call upon for salvation, right? So guess what? You may have a chance of being saved, Yusuf. Because America's going down. Read this.
It's the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 18, verse 7.
You know?
So of thy people was accepted both the salvation of the righteous, the salvation of the righteous, and destruction of the enemies, and destruction of the enemies.
See, Yusuf, up here, we want to see our enemies destroyed. All the people that put the drugs in our neighborhood, all the people that put the guns in our neighborhood, all the people that put the Planned Parenthood for our women to destroy the babies in their uterus in our neighborhoods, we want to see the destruction of our enemies. The way they treat our Latino brothers and sisters, guess what? We want to see the destruction of our enemies. So God said, we're going to get saved if we do what he says and see the destruction of our enemies.
Right.
You understand that? Hey, don't we want to see the destruction of our enemies, Yusuf? Guess what? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We want to see the destruction of our enemies, man. Y'all praises, man. Read what you got, King. Come on, you just read that. Go to Amos chapter 4 verse 12.
The book of Amos, chapter 4, verse 12. Therefore, thus will I do unto thee, O Israel, O Israel, O Israel. And because I will do this unto thee,
Because the economy of America is going to collapse, man. The banking system is going to collapse. Your fiat dollar is not backed by oil anymore, man. Their currency is going to collapse, man. These white people are going to be confounded with a stock market crash, man. It's going to be worse than the 1930s. I know he remembers the 1930s. It's going to be worse than that, man. So because all these things will come to pass, because famine is going to hit the earth, you blacks and supposed to Native Americans, if you don't return back to your God, you ain't going to have no damn food, man. What the Lord say? Prepare to meet thy God. The Lord say, prepare to meet thy God. And again, prepare to meet thy God. Come here real quick. I got a question for you. Now, I understand, but we have one question. All right, take a flyer. These people got to prepare to meet their God, man. They say they don't have time now, but in that day, they're going to be willing, man. We got to prepare to meet our God. Read that again. Prepare to meet thy God. Prepare to meet thy God. for you to prepare to meet your God, you gotta go home right now. Go straight home. Get on YouTube. Look at that flyer. Open up your Bible. Guess what? And that's how you prepare to meet your God. You understand that? What is your ethnicity? What is your nationality that we taught you?
It's what?
Israelite.
What?
Israelite, brother. So that's how we gotta do. And guess what? You wanna stand up when you can, because there's gonna be another brother after me that's gonna teach you better than I ever can. Okay, Yusuf? So stand right there, and you're gonna hear another brother teach better than me. And with that, we said, come on, next show.